No time for slacking, but reacting. All praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rukah Quadash. Giving double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and blessings to the believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. So let's talk about what it means to react. Now, when a person reacts to something, that person is given a response. And that's what we have to do, is give a response to the events that's taking place right now, going into prophecies, breaking down the scriptures, feeding the flock, or edifying the flock to build up their faith in these last days. So that means we have a job to do, and we have grounds to cover. Because it's not time to be sitting back, chilling, and relaxing. We know what we have to do. And you can't be the person that wait for somebody to tell you what you need to be doing. You should already know what you're supposed to be doing. And jump in and get your hands dirty, so to speak. Because we close. And now is the time to tighten up. Not slack. You gotta tighten up. So now this Philippians 2:12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my absence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So you got to work out your own salvation. Only you knows what you need to be doing. Things you need to make assessment on. Things that distracting you. And tighten up. You can't wait till somebody come to you and tell you the things you need to improve on. You have to do the assessment yourself and look for the things you need to improve on. Now, 1 Corinthians 11:31. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. Because if you're working on yourself, you ain't got to worry about nobody getting on your case or being on top of you. That's your job to do. You got to look for the things that you need to work on and things you need to do. Verse 32. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, meaning to be chastened means to be corrected, that we should not be condemned with the world. So the Lord called us out of the world. So now that we've been pulled out of the world, that just means now the Most High holds us at a higher standard. You can't carry yourself as a person in the world. Like, the people in the world, they just be talking. They just be chatting. A lot of the times, they don't even remember the things they say. They just blurt out things. But now, we've been pulled out the world. We got to carry ourselves as wise men. And when you talk, you got to talk as if everything is on the record. You got to be sure about what you're saying. Because we're not these niggas in the world no more. A nigga in the world just be blurring out shit. and won't even remember what he said. It'll just blur out, I like mayonnaise. And you ask them, what you mean you like mayonnaise? And they will argue with you and say, I never said that. Because they just be talking. But that's the mind state of a fool. So let's go back. It says, but when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we shall not be condemned with the world. Because condemnation is coming to the world. And we doing our service unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, so that we don't partake in that condemnation, part of that destruction. Now, this is 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Now, what does it mean to examine? Examine means to do an assessment on yourself. You meditate on your weakness, and you look at the things that needs improvement and you work on it. That's what it means to examine yourself. Because if you're not examining or making an assessment, what happens is it gives an open door to Satan. And Satan will enter into your mind and pull you right the fuck out. And you'll be right back into the world. That's why you got to have your guards up. And you got to work on what need to be improved on. And that goes for all of us. That goes toward me too. So it says, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? How that Yahweh Shah is in you, except ye be a reprobate. A reprobate is a castaway. A person that committing sin, but at the same time not thinking about the consequences. They're just going off, but the consequence doesn't enter into their mind that the Most High is going to require their ill doings. They thinking nothing's going to happen. That's a reprobate. And that's a scary thought. And that's a mind state that you don't want to be in. Because if you in that mind state, that just means you got demons on you. Now, Matthew 26:40 says, and he cometh unto the disciples. The he is referencing toward Yahweh Shah. And it says, and findeth them asleep, and said unto Peter, what, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So you gotta stay along. You gotta watch and pay attention of what's happening in the world, the changes that's happening. Looking for prophecies, because the moment you slack, you fall into temptation. Because if you're not into the scriptures, you know what happened? What happened is you're not in the spirit. And when you're not in the spirit, that's how Satan gets you. Now continue on. This is 1 Peter 4:7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Now what it means to be sober? To keep your mind clear. And what are you keeping your mind clear from? From distractions. Okay? So, because when a person is drunk, what's happening? That person is impaired. So when a person is drunk, or spiritually drunk, that means that person's spiritually impaired. They unfocused. So that's why it says to be sober. It means to be clear-minded. And it says, and watch unto prayer. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves. For charity shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man had received of the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of the Most High. So it says, as you had received the gift, minister. Meaning to do the work. Publish the word of the Most High. Because we in serious times right now. Now, this is Romans 13:11. And that knowing the time, that now is it high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. So we're close. And it's evident. We're seeing things that never happened ever before. We experienced a whole world shut down and changes being made. People losing their jobs. And then incoming of future famine. We're close, man. And then after all of that, it's going to be a famine of the word. Now it's time to push the word. We're not going to be teaching in the kingdom. This the time. Now is the time to do the work. So I'm going to close with Luke 17, beginning at verse 7. But which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat? So a servant, after he has finished doing his duties in the field, you're not going to tell him, well, go sit down, relax, have a meal, if that person is a servant, because he still got other duties to do. He got other duties to perform before he eat. Now verse 8, and it says, and will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me, till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward thou shalt eat and drink. Do he thank that servant because he did the things that was commanded him? I throw not, meaning I think not. Because we doing what we supposed to do. Verse 10. So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. Okay, so we are unprofitable. Whenever you think you've done enough, it could never be enough. There's always more to do. And, I'm going to just close with these last words. It just tighten up. Get more in the spirit. If the spirit is not on you, guess what? Look for the spirit. Give brothers a call. Watch videos. Do whatever you have to do to get in the spirit. Be around brothers. People of like-minded. So, Lord willing, this video was edifying. And again, I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Wakal Kodash. Shalom.
That's all the good Lord wants.